Thank you very much indeed. Hello, I'm Alexander Armstrong, and welcome to Pointless, the quiz where the more obscure your knowledge, the better your chances of winning. Let's meet today's players. And couple number one.
Hi, I'm Nadia. This is my friend Madeline, and we're both from Buckinghamshire.
Couple number two.
Hi, I'm Mike. This is my father, Bob. I'm from Fareham in Hampshire, and Bob is from Newin in South Wales.
Couple number three.
Hello, I'm Isabel. This is my best friend Tom, and we're both from Brighton.
And finally, couple number four.
Hi, I'm Michael, and this is my fiancée Scott, and we are from Glasgow.
And these are today's contestants. Thank you very much indeed. A very warm welcome to the show. Lovely to have you with us. That just leaves one more person for me to introduce. Here to pull it out of the bag, and by it, I mean his egg and cress sandwiches and, fingers crossed, a cat, is my pointless friend. It's Richard.
Hiya. Hey, everybody. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
Lovely jackpot win last time for Julia and Tiffany on Eurovision lyrics. If you weren't watching, two returning pairs from that show had very different shows. Mike and Bob, head-to-head. Very, very impressive.
Oh, they were
stuff.
supreme, weren't
they?
They
were very, very good. No, it was good to watch. Now, Michael and Scott, you did get through to round two, which is good. So that's in your favour. But join the 200 club in round two.
Yeah.
So the very, very few members of the 400 club, I would say. Very, very few. That, I mean, really, that is quite exclusive.
It's kind of fun.
They hold the meetings in a phone box. That's how few people there are in the 400 club. But you never know. You never know.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah, Julia and Tiffany won the jackpot last time, means today's jackpot starts off back at where it should be, £1,000. I think that's the right level.
Lovely.
For a jackpot.
Yeah.
OK, right. If everyone's ready, let's play Pointless. Avoid those high scores, everyone. Just avoid those high scores, because we eliminate the highest scoring pair at the end of each round. You know that. Anyway, best of luck to all four pairs. Our first category today is cinema. Can you all decide in your pairs who's going to go first, who's going to go second? And whoever's going first, please step up to the podium. OK, and the question concerns characters from Greek mythology in film titles. Richard.
On each board, we're going to show you 7 film titles. We're going to give you 2 stars of those films and the year in which they were released as well. There's something missing from each film title, though, and that is a character from Greek mythology.
It's fun.
Who are those characters? 14 in all to have a go at home. Yeah, sort of a mix of high culture and low culture.
Thank you. OK, can you find our missing characters from Greek mythology? Here they are, as our first board of 7 titles. Mighty Blank, 1995, Woody Allen, Mira Sorvino. The Blank Strain, 1971, Arthur Hill, David Wayne. Blank's Box, 1929, Louise Brooks, Fritz Kortner. Blank and Roxanne, 1997, Steve Guttenberg, Kathleen Quinlan. Blank's Labyrinth, 2006, Ivana Bacchero, Ariadna Gill. Cloud Blank, 2012, Tom Hanks, Halle Berry. And Blank Born, 2016, Matt Damon, Tommy Lee Jones. I'll read those titles once again. Mighty Blank, The Blank Strain, Blank's Box, Blank and Roxanne, Blank's Labyrinth, Cloud Blank and Blank Born. There we are. Nadia, welcome to Pointless. Good to have you here. Tell us all about yourself.
I'm a student. I finished my second year at the University of Southampton earlier this month, doing business management in Spanish.
See, that's fun. Do you get to go off to Spain for a year?
I do next year to Granada.
Ah, well, that's just brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah, that'll be
And have you got it all sorted in Granada? Have you been down there? Have you worked out what you're going to be doing
no,
for the year?
I actually don't really know that much about it, but I've heard very good things from people.
That's good. Now, Nadia, how is your classical mythology?
Not great, but I think there is a couple on there that I know. It's probably quite obvious, but I think I'm going to go for Pandora's Box.
Pandora's Box, says Nadia. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Pandora. Pandora's right. Down it goes to 48. Not bad. Good start to the round.
Yeah, of course, one of the classics of Weimar German cinema. I mean, you and I talk about little else.
I think it's Kortner's best, I think. Yeah.
Excuse me?
I think it's Kortner's best.
Oh, Fritz Kortner.
Yeah,
maybe.
I think Kortner.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I thought, blimey. I love a bit of Weimar. A little bit of pick and mix.
A little bit of maybe some nachos with some cheese on it.
Oh, lovely. A little bit of
What
Weimar. German cinema, of course. Is it nothing really? That's a really good impression.
Isn't it? Oh,
Yeah.
Pop those down over there. Thank you. Bob, welcome back. Remind us all about yourself, Bob.
Well, I'm retired now as a financial services manager, registered insurance broker.
But not only that, you were the key man in Welsh cricket.
In cricket, I spent many years in charge of club cricket in Wales, and
Very good indeed. So what's your role at the moment?
I'm the chairman of Wales County Cricket Club, and we bring on all the youngsters. The side is mainly sort of 17 to about 19, and they're all trying to make their way in the first-class game, and we give them a stepping stone with three-day cricket.
Anyone we should be looking out for, Bob? Oh, I
Only
can't put
me,
you on the spot.
and they won't pick me.
Oh, it's only because they don't know you're available, Bob. Remind them.
Oh, they know what I'm like.
Bob, what are you going to go for?
I'm going to go for the second one down, the Andromeda strain.
OK, the Andromeda strain, says Bob. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Andromeda. He's right. That's a good answer. Down he goes to 18. Very well done indeed. 18 on podium 2 for Andromeda.
Yeah, based on the Michael Crichton novel about a deadly virus. One of the classics of Weimar German cinema.
Now then, Tom, welcome.
Hiya.
Tell us all about yourself, Tom.
My name's Tom. I'm a customer service consultant for an insurance company, which is nice.
Do you know, you took the words out of my mouth. I was just saying, that's nice. The consultant.
Yeah, which
yes.
it's very much just a word. I really am just in customer services, but my job title is consultant.
If
which
you want
makes
to
me feel
consult you,
special.
they can.
Exactly. They come to me and ask questions.
You're not going to
so-
rebuff them, are you?
No.
Send them away empty-handed. What do you do when the consulting stops?
I am a keen runner. I was when I was younger, then I stopped, and now I'm starting up again with the goal of running my first marathon next year with my mum.
Oh,
Who's
that's
a keen marathon
good.
runner. I know.
Oh, she is already a keen
Yeah,
marathoner.
she's done a few.
Oh, I see. So is she more experienced than you, then?
Very much so.
OK. Is she going to mind having this novice tagging along with her?
I mean, she's probably going to be her last one, so I imagine we'll be at a similar speech.
That is going to be news to her, I suspect.
Yeah, I know. What have you got planned for it, exactly? Wow, probably going to be the last one, if everything goes to
She doesn't have many
plan.
left in her.
OK.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's much better. That is much better. You've absolutely fixed that. Yeah, well done.
Now then, Tom, what are you going to go for on our board here?
So I know a couple of them, but my failing is always which will be the lowest scorers. I'm going to go with Jason Bourne, as in Jason and the Argonauts.
Jason Bourne, says Tom. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Jason Bourne. Jason is right. 48's our high score, 18's our low, 52's where you end up with Jason.
Yeah, the leader of the Argonauts on the quest for the Golden Fleece.
Yes. OK, now, Michael, welcome back to Pointers. Remind us all about yourself, Michael.
So I'm a travel consultant, focusing on tailor-made, long haul, short haul.
That's fantastic. What are your interests, Michael?
So I love, obviously, karaoke, as Scott told you last time. I love going to the cinema. We've got the Cine Pass thing, so we're always at the cinema. And I thought that would have helped me here, because I have a huge passion for Greek mythology, but not so much for the titles of some of these films.
Well, listen, why not talk us through all the ones you do know?
There's Pan's Labyrinth and Cloud Atlas. And I think I'm going to go with Cloud Atlas.
Cloud Atlas, says Michael. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Atlas. Atlas is right. 52's the high score, 18's the low. You pass the high score. There you are on 23. Very well done indeed. Michael, 23 for Cloud Atlas.
Yeah, nicely done. A better answer than Pan for Pan's Labyrinth, which would have scored you 45 points. The top one?
Aphrodite.
Mighty Aphrodite, yeah. Would have scored you 12. And Steve Guttenberg, he wasn't in very many Weimar German movies, but he was in this one.
No.
I had never heard of this film.
No, it's not ringing a bell with me.
No, Zeus and Roxanne.
Okay.
Scores you 2 points. Very well done if you said that at home.
Only 2 people knew it.
Yes, and they were Steve Guttenberg and Kathleen Quinlan.
Thank you very much indeed. We're halfway through the round. Let's have a look at those scores. 18 is where we find Bob and Mike. Very well done indeed. They're making a habit of this low-scoring business. 23 is where we find Michael and Scott. 48 is where we find Nadia and Madeline. And then up to 52 where we find Tom and Isabel. So, Isabel, you're not wildly ahead, but you know what we need. A nice low score from you. Good luck with that. We're going to come back down the line now. Will the second players please step up to the podium? OK, let's put 7 more film titles with missing characters from classical mythology on the board. The Blank Adventure, 1972, Gene Hackman, Shelley Winters. Hotel Blank, 2018, Jodie Foster, Sophia Boutella. The Blank Touch, 1978, Richard Burton, Lee Remick. Star Trek Blank, 2002, Patrick Stewart, Jonathan Frakes. Blank 13, 1995, Tom Hanks, Kevin Bacon. The Blank Crossing, 1976, Sophia Loren, Richard Harris. And Blank of Troy, 1956, Stanley Baker, Bridget Bardot. I'll read those names once again. The Blank Adventure, Hotel Blank, The Blank Touch, Star Trek Blank, Blank 13, The Blank Crossing, and Blank of Troy. Scott, welcome back.
Thank you.
Remind us all about yourself, Scott.
Hi, I'm a works coordinator for a building company in Glasgow. So it just basically involves assigning jobs out to the tradesmen to make sure that they're kept busy and jobs and stuff. So
good stuff. What do you do for fun, Scott? You've heard about the karaoke?
Yeah, I do enjoy going to the gym, keeping fit. I do get involved in. I did like a deer stalker event at the start of the year, which involves like going through it's like a 10K. So you're climbing up mountains, zip lining down mountains, going through rivers. Just sort of like charity events. Then
this is like a sort of Tough Mudder type thing.
Yeah. But
excellent. How did you do? Was it all right? You came out one piece.
I did indeed, but it's just like that way. It just sort of gears you up to get your fitness level back up again.
Yeah, very good. Okay, now Scott, you're on 23. 28 or less at this stage gets you into the next round.
I think I'm going to go for Apollo 13 with Tom Hanks.
Apollo 13, says Scott. Here is your red line. Can you get below that with Apollo? Let's find out. It's right. Not bad. 44 takes your total up to 67.
Yeah, they used the same plane that NASA used to simulate zero gravity. So all the actors in that film underwent zero gravity. And none of them were sick, they said. Tom Hanks said, Bill Paxton said. But a lot of the crew were.
Actually, if you were sick in zero gravity, that'd be awful.
Yeah, yeah. Listen, it's not fun at the best of times, but it would...
Globes of sick. Spheres.
So weird.
Thank you very much indeed. Now, Isabel.
Hello.
Welcome. Tell us all about yourself, Isabel.
I'm training to be a social worker at the moment.
Very good. How far into your training are you?
Very early days, so I'm just kind of learning everything from scratch.
Good stuff. And what else are you getting up to? What keeps you amused at the end of the day?
So one of my big passions is opera. I try to go and see a show every year if I can.
Have you been to one this year?
I went in October of last year to Glyndebourne.
Good for you. OK, now, Isabel, you're on 52. 14 or less at this stage gets you into the next round.
Yeah, this is a really terrible wall for me, so I'm going to just play it really safe and hope someone else messes up. So I think I'm going to go for the bottom one, which I think is Helen of Troy.
Helen of Troy, says Isabel. Here is your red line. Let's see how far down the column we get with Helen. There we are, 66. Takes your total up to 118.
Yeah, it's quite a tough board, isn't it?
It is quite tough.
Actually, yeah. I think I'd be happier on those first 2 podium than the last 2.
Yes, indeed. Thank you, Richard. Now then, Mike, welcome back. Remind us all about yourself, Mike.
I'm a primary school head teacher down in south of England, in Hampshire.
Very good. As a primary school head teacher, do you teach as well? I mean,
I do a little bit of teaching, actually, still, yeah.
And you sort of teach everything, I guess.
Yeah, a little bit of maths is the thing.
Okay, and that's your main thing.
My favourite to
a little bit of cricket, I'm guessing. I'm just guessing here.
Quite a bit of sport. I like following the sport. We've got a great sports teacher at our school as well. I like to support him and help him along the way as well. But where I can.
Oh, that poor sports teacher. He's been mentioned, but not his name. Can you imagine being him? said, "Oh, yeah, so nearly got mentioned on telly."
Nearly got a mention on telly.
Yeah. Well, it's nice to hear you like him, but not enough to actually name check him.
name drop
I know
him.
you can't. Unfortunately, now because Hugh Edwards has got the news coming, we don't have time to name check him.
Budgets are tight. He might not be here this time next year.
What a way to tell him.
Now, Mike.
Yes.
You're on 18. You have to score 99 or less. That's what we're after from you.
Hopefully I have a chance. I'm going to go Gene Hackman, Shelley Winters. I'm going to say The Poseidon Adventure.
The Poseidon Adventure. Here is your red line. Can you get below that with The Poseidon Adventure? Let's find out. It's right, and you're through. Down it goes to 28. Very well done indeed. Takes your total up to 46.
Well played, Mike. Nicely done. Yeah, I wouldn't call it an adventure. Exactly. I think if I'd been through what they go through in that film and I just got back and said, well, I have had quite the adventure.
Now, Madeline.
Hi.
Welcome to Pointless. Tell us all about yourself, Madeline.
I have literally just finished my degree a few days ago in History of Art.
Very exciting.
And now I'm just looking forward to what I'm going to do in the future, which I'm not sure yet, but I'm working it out over the summer.
Will it be in the realm of art, do you think, or was that...
I want to combine art and advertising somehow. That's always something I've sort of wanted to do.
That'd be nice.
How I do that, I'm not quite sure. I kind of want to stay away from curating, but I might end up doing
So
that.
maybe advertising, into advertising, then find your way from within advertising back to art.
That would be nice.
OK, you're on 48. 69 or less gets you into round 2. Do you want to talk us through this board?
Oh, I just don't know what to do. So... Now Apollo and Helen are gone, I am clueless. And also, doing History of Art, I should know my Greek mythology, but...
Kinda, surely.
I'm struggling. So, I'm going to have to throw in a name. I'm going to... OK, don't laugh. I'm just going to go with Hotel Eros.
Why not? Why not? Hotel Eros. Here's your red line. Let's see what happens when we say Hotel Eros. No. No, I'm afraid not. Hotel Eros scores you 100 points, takes your total up to 148.
Yeah, you are not left with a lot of easy ones there.
I mean, I would go for the Richard Burton and Lee Remick.
OK, what would you go for there?
Midas.
Is it Midas?
Oh, maybe it's not.
It's not, I'm afraid.
Oh, no.
It's the Medusa touch.
Oh, it's the Medusa touch. Of course it is.
So 3 points. 3 points for that. Given that you said, oh, of course it is straight afterwards, I'll let you have that.
Only because it rings a bell.
The hotel, talking of ringing a bell, Artemis.
Oh, Hotel Artemis.
I mean, that would have scored you 12 points somehow. This is one that some people at home might have got. Star Trek. Nemesis. Nemesis. That would have scored you 11. And the one at the bottom there, Richard Harris, Sophia Loren, it's Cassandra.
The Cassandra crossing.
And that would have scored 18.
Really
that was difficult.
That was tough. Anyway, thank you very much indeed, Richard. We are at the end of our first round. We have to say goodbye to one of our pairs, Madeline and Nadia. I'm afraid it's you. That was a tough board. 148, yes, no arguing with that. But we'll see you again next time. Look forward to it very much indeed. Meantime, thanks very much indeed, Madeline and Nadia. But for the remaining 3 pairs, it is now time for round 2. There we are, 3 pairs remain. We are now into round 2. Bob, once again, hats off. Lowest individual score. Mike and Bob, lowest combined score. But well done, everybody. We made it through that tough round. It was tough. Best of luck to all 3 pairs. Our category for round 2 today is World Geography. Can you all decide in your pairs who's going to go first, who's going to go second? And whoever's going first, please step up to the podium. OK, let's find out what the question is. Here it comes. We gave 100 people 100 seconds to name as many countries that start with the same letter as their capital city. Richard.
Yeah, this one is going to take some thinking time from everybody, please. We're looking for any country of the world that starts with the same letter as the capital city of that country. As always, by country, we mean a sovereign state that's a member of the UN in its own right.
Thank you, Richard. Now, Mike.
OK, have a little think of that. I think I'll go for Sweden and Stockholm.
Sweden. Good. Sweden. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Sweden.
I mean, that is some pretty quick thinking, I would say, on podium one. Very well done. If I were one of the parents at your school, I would be thinking my kids are absolutely going to thrive in this institution. With a head teacher with that sort of speed of thought and geographical knowledge and calmness under pressure, which is what you're looking for in a head teacher.
Yeah, definitely.
I would say.
Definitely. If I were a sports teacher at that school, I'd be thinking, that's what I'm up against.
Yeah, I will say his first name, but that's all I'm going to say, OK? His first name is, and tell me if I'm right, because I think his first name is Mr.
Uncanny.
Thank you.
There we are. He's very good at that. Isabel.
I really don't know how to play this round because I don't
I'm going to say, well.
Yeah.
I don't think Tom's very good at this.
You think he hasn't got many more in him?
I think I'm just going to play it safe and say Belgium, Brussels.
Belgium. Belgium. OK, let's see how many of our 100 people said Belgium. It's right. 30.
Yeah, it's home to the only sourdough library in the world, the Centre for Bread Flavour. It has 84 different strains of sourdough.
Just culture, strains of sourdough culture. Wow.
That'd be worth a visit.
That's great. I'm glad somewhere has.
And also, if it catches fire, toast. So that's nice.
Nice. Thank you very much indeed. OK, now, Michael.
I will go with Andorra La Velle.
Andorra, says Michael. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Andorra. Down it goes. Look at that. This is more like it. Well done, Michael. That scores you 8.
And I would say that's the answer of a very, very impressive travel consultant as well. Well done, yeah. Andorra La Vella is the capital of Andorra.
Thank you very much indeed. We're halfway through the round. Let's have a look at those scores. 8, the best score of the past. Well done. Michael and Scott, superb. 25 is where we find Mike and Bob. 30 is where we find Isabel and Tom. Tom, I hope you outrank your billing. That's all I can say. We want a nice low score from you. Good luck with that. We're going to come back down the line with the second players. Please step up to the podium. Scott, remember, we're looking for any country whose name starts with the same letter as its capital city.
I was going to say Mexico, Mexico City.
Mexico, says Scott. OK, here is your red line. Let's see how far down the column we get with Mexico. It's right. Not bad. 29. 37 is your total.
Yeah, and clever answer as well. It's a huge city, but it's one of the seismically most active places on Earth. The fault lines, there are all sorts of volcanoes, earthquakes, sort of centre on Mexico City, or the area around it.
Thank you very much, Richard. Tom, now, look, you're on 30. We need a score of 6 or less from you.
It's unlikely. The only thing I can think of, and I'm not even sure if it's factually correct, Brazil and Brasilia.
Brazil and Brasilia. It's got the biggest murmur of the round, so let's see. Here's your red line. How many of our 100 people said Brazil? That's right. There we are. 37 takes your total up to 67.
Yeah, again, Mexico City, Brazil, Brasilia. Although a lot of people don't realise that Brasilia is the capital of Brazil.
No, they don't.
Because there's other big cities in Brazil which are not the capital.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Now, Bob, you're on 25. We need a score of 41 or less from you.
Right. Luxembourg. Luxembourg City.
Luxembourg. OK, here is your red line. Let's see what happens when we say Luxembourg. Luxembourg is right. Through you go, Bob. Down again to 25. Very well done. Exactly the same lovely low score as Mike. Takes your total up to 50.
Yeah, very well played. Well played, everyone there. No 100-pointers at all. Very impressive stuff. Now, there's 4 pointless answers. Very well done if you said any of these. You have got the Marshall Islands, capital of that is Majuro. Mozambique, capital there is Maputo. Sao Tome and Principe, Sao Tome is the capital there. And one of the capitals of Sri Lanka is Sri Jayawardenepura Kota. So very well done if you said that. But the top 3, we've seen a couple of these already. Mexico, 29. Belgium, 30. And right at the top, Brazil, 37. So we saw all 3 top answers. We, in fact, saw the top 5 answers because Luxembourg and Sweden both scored 25 and they were tied 4th.
Thank you very much, Richard. So we find ourselves at the end of the second round. We have to say goodbye to one of our pairs, Tom and Isabel. Nothing wrong with either of your answers in this round. You just happen to be the high scorers. So we say goodbye for now, but we'll see you again next time. Look forward to that very much. Meantime, thanks so much, Tom and Isabel.
Thank you.
But for the remaining 2 pairs, it is now time for the head-to-head. Congratulations, Mike and Bob, Michael and Scott. You're now one step closer to the final and a chance to play for our jackpot, which currently stands at £1,000. There it is. From here on in, you play as pairs. First pair to win 2 questions will be playing for that jackpot. Well, Mike and Bob again, golden couple.
Very impressive, isn't it? But Michael and Scott, after the last time's 200 points, lovely to see them showing their true colours. Some very good answers there. So, yeah, it can be a close one.
Should be. Best of luck to both pairs. Let's play the head-to-head. Here is your first question, and it concerns famous women with men's first names. Richard.
5 pictures now of famous women. Their first names are all names which are more traditionally given to men. Can you give us their full names, please?
Thank you very much indeed. Let's reveal our 5 women with men's names, and here they are. A. B. C. D. And E. There we are. 5 women with men's first names. Now, Mike and Bob, you're our low scorers, so you get to go first.
OK, I think we will go for C, and it's Daryl Hannah.
Daryl Hannah, say Mike and Bob. Now then, Michael and Scott, that board's all yours. Do you want to talk us through it?
A is Cameron Diaz. B, I'm not sure who that is. E, we don't know either, but D is Blake Lively.
Is that the one you're going to go for?
Yeah,
Blake
D.
Lively.
D, Blake Lively. So we have Daryl Hannah and we have Blake Lively. Mike and Bob have gone for Daryl Hannah for C. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Daryl Hannah. He's right. 45. 45 for Daryl Hannah. Michael and Scott have gone for Blake Lively for D. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Blake Lively. It's right. 45 is what it's got to beat, and it does. Very well done. Down to 19. Michael and Scott, well done. After one question, you're up 1-0.
It's a lovely answer. Now, this is genuinely true. Blake Lively has a daughter called James. So, you know, she's following on the family tradition, which is lovely. Now, A, you're quite right, was Cameron Diaz. She's a big scorer, though, 68 points for Cameron Diaz. We'll go to E next. E is, she's in Blade Runner, No Way Out, Sean Young. She would have scored you 6 points. The best answer is B.
That, I know, is Lionel Shriver.
Lionel Shriver, the author. We need to talk about Kevin and many other things. 4 points for Lionel Shriver. Well done if you said that.
Thank you very much indeed, Richard. OK, here comes your second question. Now, Mike and Bob, you have to win this one to stay in the game. Michael and Scott get to answer it first. Best of luck. Our second question today is all about things that a car normally has more than one of. Richard.
Yes, we're going to list 5 of those things, but with alternate letters removed. But what are these things, please?
Thank you very much indeed. Let's reveal our 5 things that a car normally has more than one of, and here they are. W-E-L NMEPAE, PDL, WNSREWPR, and HALGT. I'll read those all again. WELNT, NMEPAE, PDL, WNSREWPR, and HALGT. There we go. Michael and Scott will go first.
Yeah, we'll go for the first one. Wheelnut.
OK, wheel nut, say Michael and Scott. Now, Mike and Bob.
Okay, having a little think.
Do you want to talk us through all of them?
Yeah, I think number 2 is number plate. Number 3 is pedal. Number 4 is windscreen wiper. And
Headlight.
the last one is a light of some
Headlight.
sort. It could be a headlight,
Yes.
actually. Headlight. Yeah, so I think we know what they all are, but it's which one will be wheel nut. I think headlight.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll go for headlight, please.
OK, you're going to go for headlight. So we have wheel nut and we have headlight. Michael and Scott said wheel nut for the top one. Let's see how many of our 100 people said that. Wheel nut's right. 41 for wheel nut. Mike and Bob, meanwhile, have gone for headlight for the bottom one. Let's see how many of our 100 people said headlight.
45 again.
It's right. It's got to beat 41. And it does. 33 for headlight. Very well done indeed. Just what we needed. Mike and Bob, after 2 questions, it's 1-1.
Very nicely done. Best 2 answers on the board. People always say that a Brazil nut is a very good source of zinc, but actually a wheel nut has more. Amazing.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
isn't that incredible?
Interesting.
You were right about all the others, but they all scored more points. Number plate would have scored you 50, 76 for pedal, and 65 for windscreen wiper.
Thank you very much indeed, Richard. OK, it all comes down to this third question. Whoever wins this decider goes through to the final and plays for that jackpot. Best of luck to both pairs. Our third question today is all about artworks featuring animals. Richard.
We're going to show you now the titles of 5 artworks which feature animals. We need to tell us which animals are featured, please. We're going to give you the initial of that animal as well.
Thank you very much indeed. So, which animals feature in these artworks? Whistle Jacket, George Stubbs. H. His Master's Voice, Francis Barrow. D. Surprised, Henri Rousseau. T. Monarch of the Glen, Edwin Landseer. R.D. And Maman, Louise Bourgeois. S. I'll read those all again. Whistle Jacket, H. His Master's Voice. D. Surprised. T. Monarch of the Glen. R.D. And Maman. S. There we are. Mike and Bob will go first.
Hmm?
Yes.
What do you think surprised is? I don't know that one. Do you think it's Monarch of the Glen and reindeer?
Yes.
No reindeer. You sure it's a reindeer?
That's what, yeah, it's the stag, you know.
Yeah, no, it's a reindeer.
Yeah, but everybody will know that.
OK, Mike and Bob.
Can you choose? Which do you want to go for?
Monarch of the Glen.
Okay, we're going to go for, I think, after a big debate, Monarch of the Glen and reindeer.
Reindeer, say Mike and Bob. OK, Michael and Scott, that board's all yours. Do you want to talk us through it?
Whistle Jacket, we think, is horse. His Master's Voice is dog. Unsure what Surprised is. We think Mammon is snake. We thought Monarch of the Glen was red deer. But we'll play it safe and go dog, yeah.
OK, you'll get
Voice.
His Master's Voice, dog. OK, so we have reindeer versus dog. Mike and Bob said reindeer for Monarch of the Glen. Let's see how many of our 100 people said reindeer. No, I'm afraid not reindeer. Michael and Scott have gone for dog for His Master's Voice. Just has to be correct for you to win this one. Let's find out if it is. It is right. Very well done. 79 it scores, but crucially it is right, which means Michael and Scott, after 3 questions, you're through to the final 2-1.
Yeah, and you were quite right. It was red deer. That was the answer. It would have scored you 24 points. Whistle Jacket, you were also right. It is a horse. It would have scored you 44. Surprised. You have to guess an animal beginning with T. You'd be surprised if it turned up here.
Tiger.
Tiger.
It is a tiger.
Yeah, it is. There you go.
There we
Surprise,
are.
right?
Look at that.
Yeah.
Got it.
14 points to this. And this last thing, it was the first thing in the Turbine Hall at Tate Modern, an enormous steel sculpture of a spider.
A spider.
Yeah. And that would have scored you 6 points. Well done if you said that.
Thank you very much indeed, Richard. So the pair leaving us at the end of the head-to-head. Oh, I can't bear it. Mike and Bob, twice you've been our golden couple. Twice you've played exceptionally all the way across the show. And twice, I'm afraid, you've had the trophy whipped out from under your noses. It's been such a pleasure having you on the show. Thank you so much. Mike and Bob, wonderful. Thank you very much. But from Michael and Scott, it's now time for our Pointless Final. Congratulations, Michael and Scott. You've seen off all the competition and you have won our coveted Pointless Trophy. You now have a chance to win our Pointless Jackpot, and at the end of today's show, the jackpot stands at £1,000. Very, very well done. I think it's fair to say you came from being the underdogs in that head-to-head round. And, yeah, you triumphed, and here you are in the final. What do you want to see come up?
Usually at home, Scott's the one that gets all the pointless answers in the last round. So if it's music or anything to do with music...
Popular culture, even film
yeah.
and all that.
Yeah. For myself, geography, obviously, the ideal.
OK, well, best of luck. Let's see what our 4 are for today. We have got 1960s British film comedies, sporting tigers, Johann Sebastian Bach, and prize-winning female authors.
1960s.
Carry-ons and stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, maybe.
Sporting tigers.
What would that be?
I don't know, because I can only think of one person named Tiger, and I don't think it's going to be that.
I would probably be, it's not the best round for us, but we'll go with the first one, 1960s British film comedies.
Yeah.
OK, film comedies it is.
OK, very best of luck. We're looking for anybody, according to IMDb, credited with appearing in any of the following 3 1960s film comedies, please. Anyone credited with appearing in Alfie, anyone credited with appearing in The Wrong Box, or anyone credited with appearing in Those Magnificent Men in Their Flying Machines. Very best of luck.
Thank you very much. Now, as always, you've got up to a minute to come up with 3 answers. All you need to win that jackpot is for just 1 answer to be pointless. You don't have to answer all 3 categories. Just focus on whichever ones you like the look of. Let's put 60 seconds up on the clock. There they are. Your time starts now.
I only know the first film, Alfie, so that's with Michael Caine.
Do you know who else was in it?
Michael Caine.
Michael Caine's the only one I can think of. So who else? We're going to have to just guess. So who else was big around that time?
Dusty Springfield, but I'm thinking sort of actors-wise.
I'm not sure. Who else? What kind of act?
Peter Sellers.
Peter Sellers? OK. Might have been one of them. No idea. Who else? Who else would have been
I think 60s actors.
Anybody? I can't think of anybody. Peter Sellers, Michael Caine. What about actresses? 60s actresses.
Joan Sims.
Joan Sims? Yeah, OK. So we put Joan Sims in.
10 seconds left.
Joan Sims. Peter
I'm just
Sellers,
thinking sort of
Michael
carry on.
yeah. That's just 3 seconds. Joan Sims.
OK, that is your time up, I'm afraid. Let's have your 3 answers.
That was a disaster.
Yeah, I was just like struggling with.
So we've got Joan Sims.
Joan Sims for
Alfie.
Alfie.
Peter Sellers.
Peter Sellers.
For The Wrong Box.
For The Wrong Box.
And yeah, Michael Caine, Alfie.
And Michael Caine for Alfie. OK, there we are. There are 3 answers. Of those 3, which is your best shot at a pointless answer?
Michael Caine, probably.
Yeah.
Your best shot at a pointless answer.
Sorry.
He'll be correct, at least.
OK, well, we'll put Michael Caine last.
No.
OK.
Joan Sims.
Yeah.
You're
Sellers.
least likely to be pointless?
Peter Sellers.
Peter
Peter
Sellers.
Sellers for The Wrong Box, and Joan Sims goes in the middle. OK, well, let's put those answers up on the board in that order then, and here they are. We have got Peter Sellers, we've got Joan Sims, and we've got Michael Caine. Well, best of luck. Who knows? What if one of these answers turns out to be pointless and you were to win that jackpot? What would you like to spend it on?
Be toward the
Get married.
honeymoon.
Yeah, we're getting married in a few months, so we're just going to probably put it towards
Yeah, the honeymoon.
Honeymoon, yeah.
Lovely. OK, well, congratulations, first of all. And let's hope. Wouldn't it be lovely if one of these answers miraculously won you that jackpot? Your first answer was Peter Sellers. You were looking for actors in the wrong box. If Peter Sellers is pointless...
Definitely in the wrong box.
If Peter Sellers is pointless, you will win £1,000. How many of our 100 people said Peter Sellers? Is it right? It is right.
Oh my God, stop.
Peter Sellers is indeed in the wrong box. He just has to be pointless now for you to win that jackpot of £1,000. Down we go to 13. Very well done indeed. Not a pointless answer, not a bad answer, though.
Wow.
Let's move on to Joan Sims. In this case, we were looking for the cast of Alfie. Is Joan Sims a correct answer? And if Joan Sims is correct, is it pointless for £1,000? How many people said Joan Sims? No, bad luck.
Damn.
No Joan Sims in Alfie. Let's turn to your third and final answer, which was Michael Caine. Again, we're looking for cast members of Alfie. If Michael Caine is pointless, you will leave here with a jackpot of £1,000. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Michael Caine. It's right. Your first answer, Peter Sellers was 13, Michael Caine is 71. Well, listen, that was a tough round for you, really tough category. But listen, you came up with 2 correct answers anyway. Sadly, you didn't manage to find that all-important pointless answer, so I'm afraid you don't win today's jackpot, but you do win today's pointless trophies. So very well done for that.
Thank you.
It's been great having you on the show, Michael and Scott.
Thank you.
Yeah, well played, gents. It was fun today. Let's take a look at the pointless answers, shall we? We'll start with Alfie. And talking of Alfie, there's Alfie Bass was a pointless answer. Eleanor Bron is a pointless answer. Graham Stark, Vivian Merchant. You could have had Murray Melvin and Sydney Taffler. Jane Asher, Shelley Winters, Millicent Martin, Denham Elliott, Julia Foster and Shirley Anfield were the other ones who scored points there. The wrong box, this had a really good cast. You look at some of these names. Irene Handel is a pointless answer. John Junkin, John Le Mesurier is a pointless answer. Nicholas Parsons there as well. The scorers, Michael Caine again. He would have scored you 14. Peter Sellers, Dudley Moore and Peter Cook both in it. They scored points. John Mills, Leonard Rossiter, Annette Newman, Ralph Richardson, Tony Hancock would have scored you 1 point there. And Tony Hancock would have been a pointless answer for the next one. Those magnificent men in their flying machines, as would John Le Mesurier again. Gordon Jackson as well, Millicent Martin, Sam Wanamaker, Willie Rushton, all of those pointless answers. Terry Thomas and Benny Hill were the biggest scorers there.
Thank you very much indeed, Richard. Thank you, Michael and Scott. I'm sorry you didn't win our jackpot today. That will therefore roll over onto the next show when we will be playing for £2,000. Join us then, see if someone can win it. Meanwhile, it's goodbye from Richard.
Goodbye.
And it's goodbye from me. Goodbye.